Hello, this is my game called Slumbering Sentinels. And is a game where the player will run through a story and allow them to pick options so they can have some interactivity with the story itself. The first image they'll see is this background image, which I think really establishes where this game is set, which traditionally encompasses a book and some sort of gold in a bag, usually indicates some sort of treasure or pirate adventure, which is what my main story is about. The player on this screen will be able to go to the rules section where they can see all the different types of things that will be available to them to interact with. This can be links, which you can have an example of this, which just brings you to the next page of the story. You have an undo button where it just brings you back to the previous page, a full screen button, and also a restart button, which will just send you back to the first page in the game. Going back to the rules section, further down, you have interact words where you can click the spoon, and you'll act like if somebody picks up the spoon for the player, like the player picks up the spoon. Then you have hover buttons where you can hover over something. So it looks like you've taken something and taken a hold of it and release, and it'll say you grabbed it. Then for the last thing, you got an animals like prompt section where you can type in anything you want. Birds, and you'll see you got birds, and all these things will allow me to make variables that will integrate into the story. I can return to the flip screen, or you can actually start the game, which I'll do by picking the input buttons option. So our first prompt, select your name. Thomas Thor. So first page of the story, which is laid out on this like bloody piece of paper, which I think helps show that survival aspect in which the player has to go through the game. And it creates that theme that I want to display as well. So the name is slightly wrong, but so when you go through the game, there'll be 3 main characters, and they'll be distinct by the text color that will be shown. So for our first character, it'll be a bluey, a purple color. The second character is a bit more blue and a bit more faded. And it just helps the player recognize who's talking at which time instead of just all black text. They are an option to see what they could do and better explore the scene they're in. So this would be talking to the person that's currently talking to you. Here. And move on to the next page. Anything under this line means it is a link that I'll go to a next passage. There's also this nice little fading, which I think helps make it look a lot more interesting by allowing a sort of anticipation to what the text will be by letting it slightly blurred fade into the page instead of just letting it instantly appear there. That's our first in-game image, so this would be something just to display an environment or an event that's happening in the game. It just allows the player to have a bit more understanding of what is happening instead of just reading through text, which can be boring if it's not very descriptive of what the scene is and what events are happening in the scene. Overall, this is pretty much a good explanation of my game, and from now on, I'll have some rare commentary over it, but for the most part, I'll be silent. So this is the end of the game, where the player at the end will get a little bit of text saying what the events after the story, or a bit of a cliffhanger of how these people will try and survive, or at least what action they'll take to try and survive. This at the end here, I just want to explain. Overall, this story is about survival, what this creature would do to a ship, and somewhat out of the creature being an overwhelming power that can't be stopped. So if people are in that situation, what would they do, and how they would try and reinforce their survival instinct by knowing that they are trying to attack a omnipotent force that can't be destroyed. So now you can restart the game. I think it's back to the beginning, so you can play the game again.